There's a lot of beef in the boxing world right now, especially between different promotions. Dana White, president of the UFC, really doesn't like the problem child of the boxing world. So it comes as a surprise that after all the heated trash talk, Jake Paul and Most Valuable Promotions, that's MVP, have made another offer to UFC president Dana White. And this one includes a multi-division boxing champion. To know all about who it is and much more, keep watching. Jake Paul making Dana White an offer he can't refuse. Amanda Serrano, the UFC WBC, WBO, and IBO female featherweight champion, have signed with MVP, the recently created promotion organization founded by Paul and his advisor, Nakisa Bedarian. She's the company's first fighter to join them. Serrano and Paul announced the deal on their respective social media accounts on Thursday. Amanda Serrano is one of the world's most impressive combat elite. She has a 41-1-1 record in boxing and 2-0-1 in MMA, which she began competing in 2018. Paul recently promised to retire from boxing and to sign a contract for a fight against Jorge Masvidal if White accepted 3 conditions: increased pay, better revenue sharing, and long-term health care for fighters. White has already responded by challenging Paul to form a new company if he believes he can outperform his promotion, a reaction considered unsatisfactory by the problem child for deliberately ignoring his terms. Though White has no desire to work with Paul, his team has gotten on the action, and Amanda Serrano is the latest addition to the seemingly never-ending saga between the two men. On Monday, the Puerto Rican boxer took to Twitter to thank her promoter. Serrano even had a very exciting proposal herself. What Serrano herself had to say: "I will gladly sign a one-fight deal with the UFC to challenge Valentina Shevchenko for the flyweight championship if UFC agrees to take Jake's offer," Serrano wrote on Twitter. Let's make history. Serrano, unlike Paul, has some professional mixed martial arts expertise. She originally competed for Combat Americas and Icon Fighting Federation, where she defeated Ir Ordóñez and Valentina Garcia in first-round submissions. Serrano has since shifted focus to boxing, but hasn't ruled out a return to MMA in the near future. A fight with Shevchenko, on the other hand, doesn't appear likely, especially if it's linked to Paul and his demands. Paul announced a boxing hiatus to focus on Serrano and her upcoming fight, which is expected to be against fellow pound-for-pound great Katie Taylor. When his career resumes, the 24-year-old would like to fight against Masvidal, Nate Diaz, and Kamaru Usman, all of whom are currently under UFC contracts. The GWOAT, women's greatest of all time, Amanda Serrano, officially signed as the first MVP athlete, wrote Paul on Instagram. Amanda is the #1 pound-for-pound female fighter in the world and the greatest Hispanic female athlete of all time. Amanda hasn't had someone with a big platform really put on her, so she's marketable and a natural-born superstar. What's next for the dynamic pair? Well, in the words of Paul himself, it's a new era of boxing, and he strongly believes there's a new way to promote fighters, and his company is the right way to do it. Amanda already has the skills, and now we're going to add our secret sauce into the equation, the YouTuber-turned-boxer claimed about MVP. The boxing duo first met and competed on the same card almost 2 years ago. On that night, Serrano knocked out Simone Apricida de Silva in 3 rounds, and Paul won his professional debut with the first-round technical knockout against Anas Njib, another YouTuber-turned-boxer. Serrano and Paul remained in touch and competed on another card together in August. Serrano most recently competed in the co-main event of Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley, defeating Yamilet Mercado and retaining her featherweight championship titles. The win over Mercado extended the 32-year-old's winning streak to 27 straight, with 21 of those victories coming via knockout. Serrano has also found success in MMA, where she has a record of 2-0-1, including 2 first-round standing submission wins over Arendira Ordóñez and Valentina Garcia. Serrano defeated Yamilet Mercado by unanimous decision last weekend in the co-main event of Showtime's Jake Paul vs. Tyron Woodley event. As we stated, that fight undoubtedly is one of her most watched to date. Serrano and her new promoter have already set their sights on a mega fight against Katie Taylor, who was linked to the Puerto Rican superstar last year before the coronavirus pandemic derailed the highly anticipated clash. Bedarian told ESPN's Mark Raimondi that talks are going on with Taylor's promoter, and he heard, and that the fight between Serrano and Taylor would take place sometime during 2022. How did Dana White respond? Among his demands were the following: 1. Raise the minimum fighter pay per fight to $50,000. It's currently $12,000. 2. Guarantee UFC fighters 50% of UFC annual revenues, $1 billion in 2021. 3. Provide long-term health care to all fighters. You previously stated that brain damage is a part of the job. Many UFC fighters have publicly stated that they're suffering from brain injury after the celebrity boxer issued issued a list of demands for better working conditions for UFC fighters, White responded with a video dumping Paul and his proposal. Nobody on earth thinks he really wrote that, White said. You're too stupid. Serrano's trainer exposed after alleged harassment during Paul Woodley card. According to The Ring, Serrano's trainer, manager, and brother-in-law's behavior both in and out of the ring risks overshadowing Serrano's great achievements. In a recent fight, Maldonado was seen on the broadcast yelling at Mercado and her team at certain moments in the fight. Mercado has since claimed that Maldonado called her trash, a coward, and pendeja. Mercado claimed that after the fight, Maldonado came to her corner and called her coaches a gay slur in Spanish and referred to her as garbage. According to Mercado, her trainers felt unsafe, so they skipped the post-fight interviews and went straight to the locker room. Maldonado can be seen yelling adios to Mercado and her teammates during Amanda Serrano's post-fight interview with Ariel Helwani. Maldonado stated in an interview how he believes that Mexicans have a reputation for being tough warriors and that Serrano's team came up with the strategy to defeat Mercado at her own game. She also said that Mercado wasn't a true Mexican as she chose to run and not box. Serrano repeated the "didn't fight like a Mexican" line in an interview with Seconds Out. Maldonado's bullying of Mercado didn't stop in the ring, according to Mercado, who claimed he actually confronted her while she was walking to an ambulance for her treatment for cuts on her face. Maldonado came to me and continued attacking me, calling me a coward, a good-for-nothing idiot, and more, she said. Not the first time something like this has happened. According to The Ring, this isn't Maldonado's first brush with scandal. Maldonado was removed from the ring during Serrano's last fight in Puerto Rico against Daniela Bermudez. Referee Robert Ramirez Jr. barred Maldonado from ringside after forcibly removing him from the corner. Ramirez said that he did so after having heard personal attacks which were too dirty to even repeat. Maldonado was also arrested as part of the New York Police Department's Operation Dumbbell in 2007, an undercover covert operation that prioritized steroid dealers, according to The Ring. Maldonado received a 2.5-year jail time sentence for providing steroids and other drugs to boxers and weightlifters. Cindy Serrano, Amanda Serrano's sister, Maldonado's wife, received a suspended sentence. Maldonado's strategies of directing Serrano's career have also been called into question. Serrano has boasted that she doesn't own a cell phone and follows a strict no distractions policy in her professional life, which includes not having any romantic partners. Maldonado appears to handle everything that would necessitate Serrano using a cell phone, such as social networks and scheduling interviews and other activities. When describing Serrano and Maldonado's relationship, the debate surrounding the trainer, The Ring's Diego Murillo wrote, "It's entirely feasible that Serrano and Maldonado's symbiotic relationship is healthy and that they both share a bond that allows them to collaborate seamlessly in pursuit of a common goal. But Maldonado's behavior, which is so different from Serrano's usual demeanor, is already causing concern among many and has sparked an uproar unlike anything seen against the boxing second in recent times. Multiple individuals, according to Murillo, are reportedly pursuing a number of legal actions against Maldonado. Mercado has stated that she wants Maldonado to face consequences from the WBC and the Ohio Commission. I feel he should have been expelled from the corner at that point. I believe he crossed a very important line and his verbal aggressions were too much, especially since I was alone at that time." Floyd Mayweather teases a comeback fight. The boxing legend retired in 2017 with a perfect 50-0 record, but at the age of 44, he's expected to compete in an exhibition match in Dubai. "I spoke with my advisors about money kicks," Mayweather said as he posed in front of a helipad at the Burj Al Arab Jumeirah Hotel. Money Kicks is a social media star from Dubai who has won 2 amateur boxing matches. Mayweather went 8 rounds with YouTuber Logan Paul earlier this year under exhibition rules. During a spectacular professional career that included legacy victories over Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, Canelo Alvarez, and Ricky Hatton, Mayweather amassed world titles in 5 divisions. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Dana White will let Serrano fight with Valentina Shevchenko? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. See you in the next one.